Well, okay, we're back on the Kia. I've had this problem for a little while, and it's been a real pain in the rear end to try and isolate it. I'm just gonna show you something here, and maybe you can see it. But I was getting a knocking, especially when I was over a bumps and whatnot. It was intermittent somewhat, but usually it's your sway bar links. So let's see if I can replicate this using only one hand. Listen. Well, it slipped, but you should have been able to hear it. Let's try it again. So this is just on the sway bar, and I'm just testing out this link on the driver's side. If you can hear that, that's a sway bar link. It goes up and attaches to the strut and then comes down and hits the sway bar link. It's the same on the other side. That's what's causing a clunking sound when you drive. It doesn't do it when you're steering, doesn't do it when you put it in gear. Only when you're kind of on uneven ground and the car's suspension is, you know, twisting a little bit, and these little bar links, which I'll show you more later when I get the tires off and replace them, are notorious for failing. But this is what I'm hearing. I thought it came from the driver's side. I already checked the other side over there. It's not clunking, but I'm going to change them both out, because when one fails, the other one ain't far behind. So stay tuned. Okay, now that we have the tire off, the wheel off, this is the offending piece right here. There's the sway bar link, and there's the other end of the sway bar link right there. This is the thing that causes the clunking, and I believe it's this top one right here. Maybe I'll confirm that here in a little bit and get a video of it for you so you can see it. Okay, this bottom one was a little bit of a bitch. I had to use a vice grip to clamp on to the other side of the nut here, and then get underneath and come up through here with a wobble on an impact wrench to get it off. It was on there pretty good. This is the one probably right here at the bottom that's loose, and I can kind of feel it in there. It should not be moving around this easily, and this moves around quite a bit. So I already got the top off. The top was easy, and we'll put the new one on here, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get to it. Okay? There we go. Just wanted to show you the difference between the old version of the Hyundai. This is a Hyundai part that goes on the Kia. And this side right here is rounded. So you have to put vice grips on it to keep it from spinning around. And by the way, this end right here, oh, nope, it's this one right here. It just spins easy. And if I move it around, I can hear it clunking in there. So this was the bottom end of the sway bar linkage. On the new ones, they have a little nut that's fabricated into the whole unit here. So you can put like a crescent wrench on there, or if you can get, I think it's about a 17 millimeter end wrench on it, you could do that to get the bolt on. And we're going to do that now. So. Okay, so yeah, that was it. About fell over. This goes right in here. You can see it's a little loose. It's not a 16. It's just barely a 17, but it's a little too loose. But it'll hold it enough. And then you can just cinch down on it. I did this one by hand. I threw the impact wrench on this one because the nuts are sort of I don't know what they are, but they it's like having a nylon nut in a way, but they tap right in and they're not supposed to back off. So anyway, I got the passenger side off here, and there's something that you need to probably know here is that usually these things are rusted in pretty well. If you can't get it off, which I couldn't with the impact wrench because I had to go at such an angle, then I used my big breaker bar, attached the vice grips to this area here, which propped up against this here upper steering arm, and then went to town on it. A little bit of I use blaster. I'm going to use Croyle in the future. I hear it works better, but the blaster just had to sit for a little while, and then I was able to get it off with the breaker bar. Now, this side too, this should not be moving this easy. It should be very difficult to move these. You know, like I really have to kind of put some pressure on it to get it to move. But I'm going to bet this thing here on the bottom, this was, if it wasn't failing but I just didn't hear it, or you know, maybe it was part of the clunking, you know, it was going to fail very soon. So always replace both of these sway bar linkages at once. Do them both, no matter what, because this thing here, if I would have just done one side, would have been definitely failing, and I would have been doing this all over again. So get it done the first time. This should not be twisting like this in there. It should be very, very difficult for these to pivot and move around. Like I can't even twist this one at all, not with my bare hand. Okay, anyway, we'll get the new one up and show you. So here's the thing with these sway bar linkages. If you drive about 5-10 miles an hour and you do this somewhere slow in a parking lot, of course I'm on my street here, but if I did this, you'd hear a dunk, 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 dunk. That's usually your sway bar link, nothing else. Now, this is only if, you know, you don't, you know, you can put it in the gear and you don't hear anything. You know, it could be your CV joints or whatever. Could be stuff like that. Could be your strut. But if you're just trying to keep the, if the only thing you have is just that clunk when you either go over a bump, like right now I don't have anything. And if you want to double check that, especially if it's intermittent, it does it sometimes but not all the time, then you do this back and forth real slow. You'll hear it. So those sway bar links, they're cheap, buy two. This is for the 2008 2009 Kia. This is a Sportage, and so I would call this fixed. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Hang loose, and we'll catch you next time.